YouTube. Yep. Okay. We are live. Welcome back to Fresh Vinyl Live. This is our post G-FEST 21 party. It's not, it's not like partying at a G-FEST, but got a drink, got a little bit of scotch. Cheers, David. Ciao. Joining us from the West Coast is David Eric Dopko. If you met him at G-FEST, you know all the awesome pictures he's been taking and posting on the Godzilla Collectors group. So there's the next coming up official G-FEST photographer right there. We got Goji Fan 93.
What's up, G-Fans?
Who's got YouTube open?
Not me.
I don't think it's me.
Somebody's talking.
It was me. It was an echo. Anyway, I think it was me. I always do it. So, Goji Fan 93's here, and he's got a Godzilla with him. He's kind of just like, you're up to there. And Kyle Yount from Kaiju Cast is back. Awesome to have him. He had a panel at G-FEST too. And,
yeah, you guys were all there. Thank you very much for coming.
Epic panel.
And joining us shortly will be Robert Doyer, longtime G-FEST attendee. Got more experience than all of us, and that's what's up. We're going to start the show off with Kyle Yount. He's going to take it away and talk about his Kickstarter project. So take it away, Kyle.
Well, thank you, Rich. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask as I'm talking. So in 2004, for the 50th anniversary of Godzilla, we threw a film festival here in Portland, Oregon. And now for the 60th anniversary, I decided I wanted to do something even bigger and better than starting a podcast about giant rubber-suited monsters. So I decided to fly to this awesome exhibit that's happening next month in Japan. It's called the Dai Gojira Tokusatsu Ten, which means Big Godzilla Special Effects Exhibit. And this Kickstarter launched just before G-FEST, and then I think it ends on August 4th. And basically I'm trying to raise $8,000 to fly over there, pay a camera crew to shoot the exhibit and some interviews with me, and then interviews with me interviewing other people, and like people who've worked on the Godzilla series, and then come back and edit it together into a feature-length documentary called Hail to the King: 60 Years of Destruction.
Sounds epic.
Doesn't it, Dave? Doesn't it sound epic?
It sounds epic, and it sounds like it's something that you were born to do.
Man, I got to tell you, I mean, it's the idea came to me thanks to Mr. August Rigoni, actually, and I kind of passed it off when he mentioned it, and then I brought it up to Brandon from Tokyo Toy Fiend, and he was like, "Why don't you do it? Why don't you just try?" And then I was like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting you to say that." And then I asked my girlfriend, and she was like, "You should totally do it." So yeah, we worked our asses off on July 4th and basically came up with all the really kick-ass perks that you have on the side of the page for the Kickstarter, and launched it on launched it on the Wednesday, the same Wednesday that you got to Chicago, Rich. That's where we launched it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really get too much info about it then, because I was like, oh, I remember you teasing about it, but I just didn't really get a chance to sit down and pick up on it until after G-FEST. So.
Yeah, and like the whole time, like during G-FEST, it's like, oh yeah, you got to tell me about that. I'm like, I'm gonna tell you about that whole thing, and then it just never happened because I'm terrible at promoting, which I'm trying to make up for right now. You're on Fresh Vinyl Live. But yeah, do you guys have like questions about it? Because I haven't. I kind of spilled my spiel all over you, so now I'm interested.
All right, so
if you have any questions?
I watched the video. Obviously, I watched it a couple times. This is the exhibit that they have set up coming up, right?
Yeah, it's set. They basically start it on August 2nd, and then it goes through August 17th. So it's really not there for very long at all.
No. So basically, you got to make the goal, and basically once you make the goal, you're going, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, basically. So when the Kickstarter ends on August 4th, there's a couple of days for Kickstarter to get the money to me, and so they'll get me most of the money, which then I will hop on a plane, head over to Tokyo, and then meet up with my camera crew, and I get them with the money that we have allotted to them in the Kickstarter. It's 2 days of filming, and so that's great. I would love to use them for more. So that's what when a Kickstarter goes over its goal, it's sometimes they make stretch goals, and so we're gonna do some stretch goals, and the first of which is hopefully being able to pay for the camera crew for 1 more day, and then we'll have some others later. But at this point, we're about we've got like $3,600 pledged out of 8,000, which is cool. Like, we're really close to halfway there. Yeah. And there's about 17 days left on the Kickstarter campaign.
So $8,000, people. It's not a big amount. Let's make it happen, because I think the reward is for all of us to see something like that. Because, I mean, how many people, 1 out of, I don't know, thousands, would be able to have a chance to go to Japan and see this exhibition? So.
Yeah, and also, you know, you make a great point there, Rich. That's something I brought up in the Kickstarter video as well, is that not many people get to go see this thing. And previously, when they have seen it, you know, the people who actually get there, that's great, and they have the memories for life. But then they take the images, and they post them online, or they post them, or they send them to like G-Fan. And as a Godzilla fan myself, I've been seeing these kinds of magazine articles for years. They don't come around every year, but this, you know, every so often one happens. And I've always been like, man, that looks so rad. I really want to see it. But now we have this awesome high-definition technology, and I want to bring all of this stuff to Godzilla fans around the world in high def. And we do have some really killer, like, rewards. So it's not just about making it happen. Like, I'm giving you your money's worth for whatever backing level you choose. Some of the highlights, I would say, would be Matt Frank has a really amazing Godzilla print that we're making, and we're turning into a large, turning it into a poster. And then Jeff Zorno is going to be doing some artwork for a T-shirt design and button designs. Really excited about that. And we've even got crazy ones in there too. There's, if you donate $1,000 to it, which I'm not saying anyone should do, because I personally could never afford that. But if you donated $1,000 to the Kickstarter program, I would go to Mandarake and personally buy 3 Kaiju toys for that backer, in addition to all of the other stuff that they get. So seriously, like, please check out. Yeah, right. I mean,
look at the $1,000 level. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to spend $1,000 on Kaiju toys for that backer, but, you know, just, I would not go and buy crap for somebody. I would buy some good stuff. Yeah. I really think, I mean, if you haven't looked at the backer rewards yet, we have all of the things that we've set up. I basically said, all right, well, if I had $20, what would get me to donate to this? If I had $50, what would I want to get from this? If I had $100, and that's a good one too, the $100 one. There's 2 different $100 levels. One of them is limited to 80, where you get a photo book of photos that we're going to take at the exhibit of the different suits and props and stuff. It's, I mean, serious. I would have donated to that one in a heartbeat.
See, if I could just add, this is like I told John DeSantis and Chris Olio. You know, the real reward here, you know, from what I've gathered that you're setting out to do, Kyle, the real reward is the documentary. You know,
yeah.
All the bonuses and perks. You know, I think that's wonderful, but you know, the real meat of the reward is getting to see the documentary. That's just my personal opinion, you know, because like I said earlier, this is something that I can't get on a plane and go and do this right now. You know, you have, you know, a golden opportunity to make it happen, and thousands, if not, you know, tens of thousands can see this documentary and then beyond. So I want to see it happen.
And we're gonna put it on YouTube. I mean, it's not. There's going to be no barriers for anybody to watch this, and It's just basically we want to make this content free, and like I said in the video, I want to share my passion for giant monster movies with the people who can't go see this exhibit.
Well, you know, it's a win-win situation, because if it proves to be popular and a lot of people really dig it and respond to it, then maybe they'll do more events like this in Japan for longer spans, because this is a very short run, and, you know, giving more people an opportunity to see it and make them bigger scale and not quite so. I don't know. It seems like this one kind of snuck up on us, right? It's not like a big, huge.
Yeah, nobody.
Thing.
Yeah, nobody was reporting about it that I could find.
Right.
I think I was telling you earlier, David, that I saw somebody, like I was following somebody on Twitter, and I was like, what is this photo of someone holding a flyer? And then I went to the URL, I was like, oh my god, it's another one of those exhibits. So, yeah, I mean, I'm super psyched about it, and I'm very hopeful that it does actually succeed, because I really want to make something awesome. And if this goes well, you know, I could see myself doing more small-scale documentaries like this on kaiju-related activities and kaiju-related history. I think that would be super rad.
Do it. Oh, hey guys.
What's up, dude? Sorry, you joined us during my sales pitch.
Oh, hey. I need to hear it. I'm excited to do my own little sales pitch for you.
I appreciate that, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We got to help each other out.
Now I feel like I need a microphone. You know what I mean? It's like y'all are getting microphones.
I'm essential.
John and Kyle. I'll just put Gabra up here and pretend he's a microphone.
Nice, I like it.
Real quick, for everybody that's out there watching, if you're wondering, hey, where do I go to do this? I just posted the link in a comment on the YouTube streaming page. You know, where you're watching the video now. So it's in the comment section, under my name. Go to it, click it, do what you can, whatever you think you got to do to make this happen. That's where it happens at. I will also post this link. It's on Fresh Vinyl Reviews. You can check out Kaiju Cast. It's going to be there.
And the easy thing to say is you can go to hailtothekingdoc.com. So doc is short for documentary. Because that's the URL I bought for it, and this is a small website thing that just basically takes you to the Kickstarter campaign.
Well, cool. I hope everybody gets to watch it and contributes whatever they can. I mean, $20 is great. I mean, anything you can, because this is something that we are all going to really dig once it's finished, and it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, if you had $20, like let's just say you wanted to donate $20, or that's all you had available to you. Let's see what that gets you. $20, that's the Shobijin level. That gets you access to a digital download of the documentary, plus early access to an online photo gallery that I'll post either while I'm in Japan or as soon as I can. And your name gets listed in the Fleeing Crowd section of the documentary's credits. And you get your name gets put on the Arigato page on the website. So there you go.
That's pretty legit for $20,
right?
I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, I need help. I need all the help I can get, not just with the donations, but also sharing the information so more people know about it. I mean, I would hate for somebody to say, I wish I could have gotten that because I didn't know about this, and my circle of influence only goes so far.
So, sorry, go ahead, David.
I was going to say the timing is really good because we're all just coming off of the high from G-FEST, and we all had such a great time there, and we can just really foresee this being just another part of that good time, and I don't know. I just think that I know we all spent a lot of money at G-FEST, but we could all dig deep into our pockets and grab a little bit of money and help Kyle out, make this awesome project come true.
One more thing, because you mentioned we all spent a lot of money at G-FEST. G-FEST obviously ended on the 13th, and if you donate right now, you actually don't get those funds taken out of your account until the Kickstarter closes. So even if you're like, oh, I want to donate, but I don't have the money right now, if you know for a fact that you will have the money on August 4th, you can go ahead and donate now,
Good point.
and just let it go. But you could also donate up through 11:59 p.m. I believe Pacific Standard Time on or Daylight Time on August 4th. And that's it. Please donate. That's all I've said. I don't need to say any more about it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
And now on to the show.
All right, so this stinks. This time last week we were all in Chicago at G-FEST 21, and I must say it definitely went down in the record books as probably the biggest, the best G-FEST so far, because what we're going to be talking about, each and every one of us, we're going to talk about G-FEST as a whole, our halls, the amazing, spectacular Akira Ifukube concert, which was just breathtaking. You know, for those that were there in person, just I still can't register it. It was just amazing, you know. But so James Hartman's out there being a pain in the ass. He wants to know what I got in the box. Should we do the box real quick?
I say go for the box.
Tell James to come on live and he'll find out.
You know,
Or
James
that.
knows where to find the link. It's on this far side of Jupiter, but, you know, try to put the two together. So should I do this box, David? What do you think? Should I do this box real quick?
Hey,
I want
go
to see a
ahead.
box day.
Do the
Whatever you
box.
want to do.
All right,
Do
I haven't seen a box day on Fresh Vinyl Live in ages, man.
No.
This is going to be a pretty good box day too. I have a feeling.
Yeah, because it's box day! And I'm finally getting my voice back, but it's still gone. So let me get this one out of the way. But, gotta get my razor blade! I'll go slow. And I got a scotch in me, too, so.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Right
while
here.
I'm doing this, I just want to say thank you. Just take a little plug it. Damn, I got hair on me. Everybody that. What is that? Getting attacked by hair.
Is
But,
that Spanky hair on there?
I don't know, man.
Maybe.
What you put on these shirts?
I see Rich is wearing one of John's shirts, if I'm
That's
correct.
right. Make sure you check out Ski Ronk. That's what's up. Kaiju Fan Network, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, man. I don't know if the pronunciation's dead on, but that's coming from a guy who
John,
probably wouldn't. I really hope that's not what my website's called.
say
Okay.
the pronunciation for once and for all. What is the pronunciation of that?
Of that word?
Yes.
I would say screonk.
Yeah.
Screonk
Screonk.
for us Southerners. Maybe screonk for you guys.
All right, so I got
Let's veer away from the whole ski, perhaps. I'd be all right with that.
You know,
You look
I
great,
don't even
though,
know
Rich.
what I'm scared
You
of
make it look great.
right now because so James is out there like, hey, James Hartman. You're like, what's in the box? Show me. So, okay. Oh.
Oh my.
Oh. Now that's hot. Now, mind you, this is the first time I'm looking at the damn thing, too. But, woo!
It doesn't suck.
Dude, that's gorgeous.
Oh,
Wait
man.
for it. Wait
was
for
awesome.
it. What is it? Why am I missing this? Oh, man. There it is.
Okay. So, for those that don't know, this is the first, as far as I'm concerned, Marmot Desagogi that Marmot released back in 2007. I have the red one, the Meltdown, that I thought was the first, but this was my number 9. Let's make number 9. Bam. So that's what's in the box, James Hartman. Now get back to the floors and mopping. All right, enough about the box day. Oh, also, you know, which I think is pretty badass, to the sender who sent this to me, you know, really needs to make me get back into watching Ultraman. I got this cool little Ultraman.
That's
That's pretty badass.
Bandai.
Ha! Shuash! I'll probably say that wrong, too.
No, you did that one right, man.
Did I say it right?
Oh, check it out. You guys want to see what else David put in the box?
What else did I put in the box?
Peanuts!
I was going to say, I better not have put anything else in the box, because that's all I put in there.
If he did, he wants it back.
If something fell in there, that's not my problem, you know.
I know. So check it out, James Hartman. So you got the 2007 Meltdown, the original, the G-FEST exclusive out there. So that's what's up. Okay, enough about that, because I don't want to get anybody upset. All right. I don't care. I
Too
said
late.
My bad. I got a bad. Mine wasn't nearly as exciting, but I got Return of Ultraman.
Yes.
Right on.
And Ultraman Ace on DVD, the entire series.
Nice.
Uh,
Cool. That's very cool. I've never seen Ace.
I've never seen those besides just a few things on YouTube. So
Yeah, same here. That's awesome.
Yep.
So Robert, I have the same DVD set, and the picture quality is perfect, but the dubbing is a little bit off.
Uh-oh.
It's
okay.
not. It's
will
not.
I be able to figure out what the plot is?
You will. You will.
Then I'm all right.
You will, but it's going to annoy you after a time, because the language it's just wrong.
What? They speak perfect English.
Who's mowing their lawn?
No, you'll be pleased at the picture quality. It's actually really, really good. But
That's good. Because that was the problem. Because I had a dubbed version of Ultraman Taro, and it was similar. The dubbing was English, but the picture was not very good.
oh, I'm sorry. I said dubbing. I meant the subtitles. The subtitles are off.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, the Taro I had was actually dubbed though, and it was similar. Like you understood what they were saying, but it was very rough. And
Yes.
but the picture wasn't very good. So if the picture is good on these,
It's
good.
great. It's better than good. It's very, very good.
okay, then I'm golden.
Cool.
All right,
Cool.
well, anyways.
So, Rich is busy smelling his
All
Gojiras.
right. I know you guys are watching me.
Well,
Let's talk about G-FEST. That's what we're here. Let's talk about G-FEST. So, I don't even know where to start. I think we should talk about the Ifukube concert.
Oh, yes. Let's do that.
Because I think that needs some serious attention, because I think that was, aside from being in everybody's company, the Akira Ifukube concert was I'm going to say the highlight of G-FEST this year. You know, so thoughts, opinions, comments. We're going to start with David and then work our way to Chris, John, Kyle, and Robert. Then I'll go last.
Let's do
David,
it.
take it away.
well, you guys all know that this was my first G-FEST, and boy, was it a good one to choose to come to my first G-FEST. We all got in a cab and decided to get there a lot earlier than most people because we wanted to get good seats. So we get there in plenty of time. We have a really great old school meal at this diner right around the corner from the Pickwick. And then we just get in line and go in there, and it's a beautiful historic theater. And the lights go down, and they start to play, you know, those iconic first notes of the original '54 Godzilla theme, and you know, the hairs on the back of my neck just stood up. And you know, those of you who know me, I mean, Kyle and Rich know me pretty well by now, and I don't cry at anything. I'm not a crier. And what got me the most is when the suite from Mothra versus Godzilla '64
Oh, man.
was just sort of, you know, coming to a climax. My eyes just welled up, and one tear just kind of went all the way down, into my shirt, and I was just so embracing it, and it just brought me back to my childhood, and you know, being surrounded by all of you guys and the people who loved it as much as I do was just incredible, and there's nothing that topped that for me. I've seen a lot of Broadway shows, and that concert to me was like the #1 thing that I've ever seen. So I'm going to leave it at that.
I'd say I'm right there with you, and I can confirm pretty much everything that David said because I was sitting right next to him, crying.
Yes, you were. Except for
We
one
were
thing.
both crying.
tell you about that.
I don't really consider myself a crier either, but I was right at Mothra versus Godzilla. I was bawling like a child from the eyeballs. It was beautiful. But the really cool thing for me was we all got to hear it. We got to experience it with that sense, but we also got to see it. And I think that's something that no one's really talked about yet, but watching the motion of the bows on the stringed instruments as your favorite music comes to life is something like you'll never experience before or after. I mean, it's a whole different ball game, not only to hear something, because we hear the music all the time. It's amazing to hear it in a live space. But the really incredible thing about that event that John did for all of us was allow us to see that music come to life too. And I think that's what made it so overwhelming for me, and maybe David as well. I see him nodding, but for everybody that was there, that was the thing for me. Watching the fury in that music as those bows go back and forth was like nothing I've ever experienced. That was quite amazing.
And just one little side note, I kept looking, every once in a while I looked back at the audience to see their reactions, and everybody was just spellbound and mesmerized and silent, except for that jerk behind us who was drunk and snoring. If he's listening, you know, this goes to you. You're a schmuck, man. You know, John, God bless you. You barreled your body into that chair with all of your might. You woke his tired ass up. And
I don't, did David mention this to you guys? We had someone snoring behind us. We had
Rich heard me. Oh, hell!
Kidding me? Yeah.
This drunk guy falls asleep, leans back in his chair, and starts snoring.
How can you fall asleep or something like that?
In a once in a lifetime.
To get in.
Oh my God! I can't
No,
even.
I audibly said, "Oh hell no!" I think
That's
Richard
not the
Paul
only time you did that.
Yeah.
Kyle heard it wherever he was sitting too.
Yeah, way in the back, yeah.
I was sitting there like this. I was sitting there like this, and I'm like, what's going on?
Just like that.
And just so you guys know, the listeners, you know, Rich and John and the rest of us who were sitting, we sat right in front of the celebrity blocked off section, so we had like really great. We were like in the front, but just the very center, and just where the perfect, you know, music was. I don't know how we pulled that off, but we got those seats.
I did not know that they had a section for me to sit in front of you guys.
We didn't tell Kyle.
No, they had a special guest 3 rows did not sit in, and we were in the row right before that.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
Chris, go ahead. What's your take on the Ifukube 100 Legacy of Monster Music?
Yeah, first of all, is anyone else sick?
Yeah, I still don't have my
Got a
voice
little bit of sniffles? You know?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All my friends.
Alright.
Go to
You,
con.
sir, have the con crud.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Yep.
There it was. Kyle knows what I'm talking about.
body odor and it's sneezing and snot touching everything.
Yeah, so that's why I sound a little bit weird. But, yeah, no, it was, I mean, just like what David said, first time being at G-Fest, perfect time to be a first-timer at G-Fest. And, I mean, when those lights went down, my heart was racing. I was so pumped for it. And I was just like, ah. And right when the first note just started playing from 1954, I was just like, I'm in heaven. There's like there's nothing better than this. And once again, I don't consider myself a crier a lot, but when it comes to, because I love the music, like I am in love with the Godzilla music and just music in general. So, I mean, that's why I bought all the perfect collection soundtracks, you know, spent a huge chunk of money to get all that, but that's because how much I love it. And hearing that live was just, you had to be there. You just had to be there. And the part that got me like almost teary was it was during the 1954 music, and when it was the scene when the children are in the hospital, and it's like kind of the sad, somber part, where like the aftermath, and that sad music with the strings playing, and I like that. And even when I watch the movie, that scene always gets to me because I just have that, you know, what the Japanese people had to go through in World War II, and it just makes me sad. Like that whole stuff just really gets me depressed about it. But hearing it live was just, I was like, oh, don't cry, I'm good, I'm having fun. And but then it just kept on going, and you all know that I'm a super Heisei fan. That it's my favorite series. And I was so excited when it got to after the intermission, and when it started playing King Ghidorah, I was just like, oh, this is the best. And then Mechagodzilla 2 came up with the big drums and stuff, and like that was one of the best themes. And it was something I'll never ever forget. And like, but it feels like it went by so quickly. I mean, it was like we were waiting and anticipating, because I was one of the backers, so I've been waiting for a really long time for this, and then all of a sudden it just happens, and now it's done, and we'll probably never experience this again, and it's sad, but to know that we got to experience it's just awesome. So I'll leave it at that, but it was just phenomenal.
Now I'm gonna let John go to second, but don't say it will never happen again, because if we really want it, and if it's possible, you never know what's going to happen next year. So
yeah, true.
Never say never.
Say never.
I mean,
never say never.
I want another one.
Well, of course. Oh yeah, I want another one. Oh yeah, of course.
Masaru Sato, if I'm pronouncing his first name right, but damn. All right, John, take it away.
Well, I think I already said my share. So perhaps we could pass it on over to Robert or Kyle.
Kyle's next. Go ahead, Kyle.
Okay, so I also was a backer of the concert. I had John and Chris on the podcast right when they first started the campaign, and I, at the time, and not to sound like a jerk, I even said this on the podcast, but I've backed several Kickstarter campaigns, and their campaign was like the biggest wow factor to me. I was just like, I have to back this. This is the best idea I've ever heard of on Kickstarter, especially since I knew I was going to G-FEST and I really wanted this to happen. Yeah. That being said, finally having it, like being able to sit down in the theater, and when they came up and announced, Eric Hominick came up, who, God, holy crap, Eric Hominick, nicest guy on the planet, I think.
Really nice guy.
If you guys have met him, he was fantastic. And if Eric happens to watch this later, dude, I had a pleasure hanging out with you. Thank you for being on the panel. And thank you so much for what you do with AkiraIfukube.org. Anyway, back to it. I had an amazing time watching the show. And the only point I want to say that's probably different from what you guys have brought up actually links to what David said about being able to see the musicians, and John also echoed that sentiment. For me, I had the privilege of going to the Star Wars on Tour concert, and basically it's sort of the same setup. There's a big orchestra, probably a little bit bigger because we're talking about John Williams and Star Wars, but then along the back of the stage they had these massive screens, and they were showing video from the episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? It was an amazing show, to be sure, but what I didn't appreciate about the Star Wars one, that it made me appreciate it in the what I appreciated more about the Ifukube concert is that you didn't have these distracting, although beautiful, images up and like drawing your eye up, because with the Star Wars concert I would be listening and then I would go, oh, it's a pretty scene, and then it would almost be like I was watching Godzilla Fantasia but with Star Wars music and Star Wars movies. So I was really happy, not even halfway through the concert, like pretty soon into it, that they just had the orchestra there, because God, I just was blown away at these guys and their abilities. Like as someone who plays a little bit of music in his life, it just absolutely floored me at how well they performed those songs. And my last point was that I loved it all, but there were some key moments. And actually, if you guys don't mind, maybe what we can do is I can bring this up. Rich, let me know if this is cool. There were some key moments that we can save until after everybody's had their piece, and then what were your 2 top suites that they played?
Good
and
call.
then, after everybody's gone, of course.
Yeah, let's do that when we're done. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I like
But
it.
yes, incredible. Next.
Okay. Robert, your take.
Well, everyone more or less covered a lot. I, of course, am a little more critical, but there's no denying the concert was great. You know, it was actually what impressed me about it is that it was even more professionally done than I thought it would be. I mean, you know, you had your itinerary, I guess we'll call it. You know, the flyer.
The program.
The program. Thank you.
You're absolutely welcome, buddy.
You had the program. You know, it was all arranged professionally. I mean, it all felt very polished for the most part. So that, you know, I appreciated. I wasn't exactly, considering it was a Kickstarter campaign, I wasn't expecting it to be as polished as it was. So that's good. You know, the music for the most part was very good. I mean, they actually included a lot more music than I thought they would include. I thought it would actually be less, but they did cover every Godzilla film.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, that's what they said they were going to do, and they did it. So that's great. They covered most of my favorites from the Godzilla films too, so no complaints there. I mean, besides the one hiccup during one of the suites, beyond that, I thought it was basically pretty good. I thought the opening was flawless. I mean, like the first Godzilla film, everything they played that was flawless. Like it literally could have been from the film. That like the first suite, Mothra versus Godzilla was also flawless. And then Godzilla versus Mothra was basically flawless too. And then when they ended, the ending track they did to close the concert, also basically perfect. So that's pretty much covered it for me.
Roger, Roger. All right, my take. I don't know. This is in no particular order. One thing that stood out to me, probably the most. All right, one thing that stood out was the musicians playing the music. They were enjoying themselves. I saw a lot of smiling. I saw a lot of fun. I'm not very good with instrument names, but the guys that were standing in the back with the big, I think they were.
Yeah, the big giant like contrabasses. Yeah.
Contrabass. I know it was a bass, but you know I knew the people in front of those were cellos, I think. But the guys that were playing the contrabass, mind you, that's what made the original Godzilla roar with a leather glove dipped in oil. But the guys that were playing the contrabass, me and Paul would actually kind of look. Hey, look at those guys. They're out there like, you know, just banging on the damn thing. They're having fun. They were
rocking out.
They were rocking out.
Yeah.
You know, they're enjoying what they're doing, and in turn, I had so much fun knowing they were enjoying what they were doing. Quite a few of the women or the violinists, if I'm pronouncing that right, they were just busting out. You know, I saw a lot of smirks, and there was something, maybe there was a bug flying around or something, but they were having a lot of fun. I don't know. It looked like something was going on in the back. But when towards the end of the concert, well, at the end when we were applauding and they were standing up for a standing ovation, you know, the look on their face, it's like they couldn't believe how much we love what they did for us. You know, what they, you know, it was like they were like holy shnikes, I'm trying not to curse, but like they really dig this, you know. And then part of me was like, I hope they understand the complexity, if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not very good with pronunciation. You know, how deep what they did meant for us. It was really amazing. But you know, sitting there, getting to listen to that with our family surrounding us, you know, they're speechless. I really can't add to anything else that any of you guys said, but it was remarkable. It was amazing. You know, just really, I got
bravo.
And how appropriate was it when we walk out of the theater? It's like lightning and thundering. Like made to order, you know. That torrential downpour.
Yeah. I take
Anyway.
what you said. Thunder and lightning.
which we don't hear on the West Coast very much. So
That's right, man.
It's utterly phenomenal. All right, so favorite two suites. David, go.
All right, it's got to be the one that made me well up. It's got to be the suite from Mothra versus Godzilla 64. And believe it or not, the second favorite suite was the very ending, the last, the reprise of Godzilla theme that goes into the King Kong versus Godzilla theme, the ending credit suite to Godzilla versus Destoroyah. Those are the two that really were impactful to me. And I'm going to even cheat and say a third, the first opening notes of the original Godzilla 54. So that's it. Those are mine.
Chris, go.
I'd say during the King Kong versus Godzilla track with the drums, I don't know exactly what the title was called, but during like the native scene, that was really awesome. And probably the other one would be the Mecha Godzilla 93 theme. That I love that theme, and so that was probably my second favorite. Yeah.
John.
My answer is pretty much the same as David's. Hearing Mothra versus Godzilla for me was incredible. That's all my favorite music from Ifukube's work, even though I love all of it. And honestly, they killed the entrance of the show, man, and killed in the good sense. I mean, it was absolutely incredible to hear all of the original music from Gojira live in front of all of us, because that music is so iconic. And I think that's really the body of music that stands out for the genre itself, honestly. For people who aren't like us, they recognize that music. And I think you could feel that in the room, that everybody there was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm hearing this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even some of the casual fans that happen to make it there that aren't as, crazy, for lack of a more colorful word, as we can be sometimes, I mean, you could feel it. Everybody in the room was like, I know every note of this suite. Yeah, this is incredible. I can't believe we're hearing this right now. And to kind of cheat like David did, I'll do the same. I would say everything from Destroya as well was beautifully performed, and I think that, for me, is the other body of music from all of his work that can really touch you on an intimate level, as wonderful as that all just sounded, without you even having to try to be touched. You know what I mean? Take that
Absolutely.
with a grain of salt. You're welcome. Next.
Right on. Well said, John.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Kyle.
Oh, yes. So the thing for me was, I actually, I love Ifukube's work. I play it on the podcast all the time. I listen to it on my own free time a lot. And I was surprised at how much they nailed the Destroy All Monsters suite.
Mm-hmm.
And another surprise, which caught me completely off guard, because I almost, as terrible as it sounds, I almost dismiss a lot of the Heisei Ifukube stuff because it seems so recycled. But the Godzilla versus Mothra suite, they blew that out of the water. And I said, I play a little bit of music, and I was sitting there with my hands clasped like this. And when they were playing Batra's theme, I was just drumming my fingers against my hand, and it was so moving, so good. And that's what I meant. Those are two things that I didn't expect to say. Yes, the Destroy All Monsters themes and the Godzilla vs. Mothra suites. That was just fantastic. Next.
What? I mean, it was all good, but for me, the suite from the very first film and the suite from the very last film, that covers it for me.
Yeah.
And it's a nice, and they did both of those so well, and it was a nice bookend to the whole concert. So
awesome.
Those were definitely my favorites.
I enjoyed them all. Every suite chord, but obviously my favorite film, Mothra vs. Godzilla, was, I just felt like I was watching the movie in my head, especially while they were playing the music from when Godzilla's just in a dead stare as he's staring at Mothra coming in. captured amazingly, and hearing the 54 suite being my second favorite, I have never had so much appreciation for the score from that film as I do now.
Very true.
It's just disastrous sounding. It's somber sounding. Very sad yet very traumatic. Very very comprehensive. So the 54 suite, I was just totally blown away. Probably because it was the first suite we heard, but I don't think I've ever really absorbed the power of that music for that film like I did until last Saturday night.
And amazing is that he did that score. He never even saw the monster. He had the score done before he even saw it.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this up on Akira Ifukube.org's Facebook page, and I'm hoping that the Ifukube 100, the concert page on Facebook is still open. I'm going to post this to start when we started talking about this. I'm going to timestamp it on those pages. So hopefully that the musicians, the production crew, John, Dutch, Eric, everybody that put the show together gets to see us expressing our experience with that concert, because I really hope the musicians and everybody that put it together get to see how we feel and how much we enjoy it, because there's nothing like it.
Nothing like it. It was epic.
Yeah, I've been saying, since Saturday night, you just had to be there. You just had to be there. It's just can't. I don't even know what to take away from it other than you just had to be there to experience how much amazingness it was.
You had to be there, but even those clips that people are posting online, when I pressed play on that, my hair still stood up on the back of my neck. So
it takes you right back, right?
Yeah.
It's translating because I'm going right back to that moment, and it's just one of those things. And it may sound corny to a lot of you viewers who weren't there, but I got to tell you, and these guys can all sort of back me up.
It's not corny.
It was. I'm not going to say life-changing because it wasn't life-changing, but it was life-changing.
Yeah. I told my wife that was the one thing I wish she was there for, to experience that. My wife, she now sometimes hums the Godzilla theme, dun 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 dun. So she knows the music, but to see something like that, that's the one thing I wish I could have experienced with my wife, because it's just
all of our significant others, having been with us for so long, would have loved it, because Keith is a big fan of Mothra. So if he heard that Mothra music intertwined with Godzilla's theme, and he would have been like digging it too, because being with me for 23 years, he's heard that music a couple of times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So he would definitely get a lot out of that too. So if any portion of G-FEST was going to be something that he would really dig, it would have been that concert for sure, and that really awesome diner food too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I remember talking to you about that after the show, David, because Brandy, my significant other, was sitting right there with me and David and Richard and all the other guys, and she was enthralled too, and she loves the music because I love the music, and that means enough to me in the first place. But I listen to it so much and have for the the 6-7 years that we've been together. She knows it, and even for her, she was like, "This is incredible." And I think it affects people that aren't as big of fans as we are on the same, not the same, but approaching the same type of level, because honestly, it's really rare in today's day and age to hear a cinematic score performed for you live, period. Even if you are a fan, or if you have somebody as dedicated as John was to put together a concert like he did for our fandom, but just in general, I think it's really, really rare for someone to hear that type of music in an appropriate venue like we did. So I just think on all of those levels we were extremely fortunate. And that was my first fest. It was David's first fest. I know there were a lot of first timers there, and I cannot think of another way to have made that a more perfect first time. Man, I'm full of sex puns tonight.
I got to say, John, Brandy is a class act, man. She was
thanks.
she was like sticking with us the whole time, and She took some great photographs when I got tired of doing it. So here's a salute to Brandy too. She was awesome.
She's a doll, man. She loved all you guys. We had a blast.
Great.
All right, so concert was amazing. All right, what else can we talk about?
That's
Damn.
pretty much it, right? We don't have anything else to talk
That was
about.
G-Fest. That's it. Nothing else.
Talk about the guests.
That's
Oh,
good.
can I tell my story about the guests?
Yes.
You guys have all heard it. Rich, you've heard it probably like 30 times, I think.
I've heard it, so I'll be right back.
Oh, are you gonna leave?
I'll hear it again.
I'll catch it on the download, dude.
All
No,
right.
I seriously will be right back.
Can I tell
Tell
my
your story.
about the guests, Rich? Can you hear me?
Yes, go for it.
Oh,
There
okay.
it is.
So
Back.
Yeah.
I come to Chicago by myself. My first G-Fest, as I'm sure you've all heard by now, and I find my way to the Crown Plaza shuttle, and I'm the only one, on the shuttle. I get on by myself. I'm the only one on there, and we go to the other side of the hotel, the other side of the airport, and who gets on but all three of the special guests from Japan and their entourage. So basically, it's just me and the rest of and the guest stars who are going to be the Japanese guest stars, not the American guest stars. And I was just blown away. And sitting right in front of me was the lovely Miss Tomoko Ai, and I said a few, phrases in Japanese, probably very badly, and she smiled at me, and I asked her, may I take your photo? It's something that I kind of do. And she said, oh, no, jet lag. And she said, tomorrow. I said, okay, that's great. So I did not take her picture, and I was just thrilled to be on the bus with them. And then it was flash forward to, I believe it was Friday or Saturday, whatever the
Friday night
was. What's that?
It would have been Friday night for the opening ceremonies.
Yes, it was before the opening ceremonies. I did a little embarrassing stint on the Kaiju Jeopardy stage, and I did not make it to Final Jeopardy, and I walked back to the audience with my tail between my legs, and sitting right next to me on the wall, waiting to go up to do her thing, was Ms. Tomoko Ai. And she smiled at me and pointed to my camera, and she said, I'm ready. So I proceeded to take two amazing portraits of Ms. Tomoko Ai holding up the Mechagodzilla, and that made all of the embarrassment from the Kaiju Jeopardy debacle sort of disappear.
Oh, man.
And then one more thing, when I finally waited in that long hot line to go get my autograph signed by her, she looks at me and realized who I was, and she got this big smile on her face, and she was giggling the whole time she was signing it. So that to me is totally priceless, and I will never forget that. And anyway, forgive me those of you who've heard that story 1,000 times, but to me, that just sums up my experience for my first G-Fest.
No, dude, it's another reason that G-Fest is an awesome thing to go to, and that another reason why it was your first and fantastic experience, G-Fest.
Yep.
Don't
Best way to
apologize.
start it out.
No, and to think I was not going to go at some point too, and it just makes that all seem really silly, and I'm hooked, and I'm there from now on. So
I'm right there with you, man. I had the same thought. I was like, this is either going to be fantastic or it's just going to be like, all right, cool. I could have bought all I was really excited about the dealer's room because I'm a huge collector, just like most of you guys, as I'm sure you know.
I don't collect.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. What's all that stuff behind you, Rich?
Rich just picks up stuff.
What do you have? Oh, okay.
I think that's his
Why
wife.
are you playing jokes on me again?
But I was like, yeah, I'm really excited for the dealer's room. And I spent a lot of time and all of my money in the dealer's room. But that's not what I'm thinking about right now. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about meeting all of you guys. all the, staying up till 3, 4 in the morning, sharing a couple of drinks. We'll stop the description there. The concert, going out to eat. David, Rich, Kyle, everybody just going out, hanging out, shooting the. Are we cursing? Are we a clean program?
Yeah,
shooting the breeze.
I mean,
We were shooting the breeze, guys. Shooting
we were
the breeze
shooting
at
the
dinner.
shit.
Shooting the breeze. There it is. But
I apologize. I don't know how many parents I apologize. Like, I'm sorry if your kids listened to anything I said that still mattered.
cool. I'll let you apologize for me. But yeah, just like what David was saying. I mean, I'm hooked too. I'm there every year. Let's do this. I'll go broke. July broke every year. Let's do this.
Yeah, July is designated on my calendar as G-Fest month from now on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's up there with Halloween and Christmas and Easter, and July is G-Fest, right?
I'll go ahead and call the city.
Fresh or what?
Pretty
That's
much.
correct.
I won't be paying any of my bills,
G-Fest is a priority over everything else you just said.
Pretty much.
I don't care if my wife don't like it.
Think about it. Like I mean, where else is this gonna happen for you? Like, and you're not gonna buy that online. And if you did, it doesn't mean the same thing. Like,
No.
You know what? You hit it right on the head. It doesn't mean the same thing.
right?
When you pick it up in your hands, and that's why the marmot means so much to me. You pick it up in your hands. It's for the show. It's going to remind me of my experience, and I will never sell it. I'll sell everything else. That's one thing that I'm going to hang on to, because it just reminds me of the whole experience. And that sounds pretty corny and cliche, but honest to God, that's the truth.
It is the truth, and because I mean, I didn't even buy it like this. I go up, I get it autographed, I watch him sign it, and then bring it home with me. I mean, there is for us on this side of the world. There's no other way to make that happen.
So, Rich, should we talk about our scores?
Yeah, let's talk about G-Fest halls. Mine's kind of still over the floor like I did the other day, but David, we'll start with you and I'll work our way down the line again.
Well, honestly, my score is pretty small. I mean, I really didn't go crazy in that dealer's room. I was more busy socializing and chatting and taking just 1 or 2 photographs, here and there. And, I was lucky to get one of the Marmot figures, the G-Fest Marmot figures. And another thing is this little Gabra, another special paint job for the G-Fest. And then, you got one too, Chris. And then a little Bandai DX disappearing Dada figure that I got also, that I've been looking for quite some time.
Nice.
And I actually asked Paul Romero when he was in Japan to sort of hunt it down for me, and he had no luck finding it, and he went to many, many shops, and I found one. I found the one that was floating around in G-Fest, and I grabbed it, and that's pretty much it. Oh, I did get a vintage reproduction Belgian War of the Gargantuas poster, which is pretty cool.
Belgium.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
It's either French or Belgian. I'm not really sure. I picked that up, too, for a really good price, and I think that's pretty much all I got, right? Did I get anything else?
I don't think so.
That's it, right?
I think so.
Did you get any prints? Did you get any prints from Bob or anything?
Oh, well, Bob owed me a print because he had sent me some. We did a trade, and one of the prints was damaged, so I actually did get a print to a really great 1954 maquette black and white sketch of Godzilla. So yes, indeed, I did get a Bob Eggleton print too, and and that's it really. That's pretty much it.
All right, Chris, give us the lowdown.
Cool. All right. Well,
All right, moving on to John. We're done with Chris.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Nah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. At first, I wanted to go in not getting a bunch of stuff, but being a first timer, I was so overwhelmed with all the stuff that was there. I did end up blowing all my money, but I was really happy with what I got. So I think this was the first thing that I got. But this awesome 2003 puppet that I got from Chris Eltiston. Yeah. So shout out to you, man. You are awesome with your custom-made stuff. It's just really awesome. So yeah, then I got the Gabra that David has as well. And then I got Godzilla Jr. because my dad, I came with my dad, and he, for some reason, he likes Minya, and I kept on arguing with him, like, no, I don't want to get a Minya figure. I don't want that little turd face. And yeah, and so like I'll get a Son of Godzilla, but I'm gonna get the best Son of Godzilla, and that's Godzilla Jr. Now, is this the 50th Memorial Box one, or is this just a standard Bandai one?
All right. The paint jobs on the 6-inch and the 50th anniversary are very similar. I probably couldn't tell you because I don't think I've ever had them next to each other. The only way you're going to know if it's the 50th or the 6-inch is if you can find a tag hole in the back.
Oh, okay. I'll have to do that.
If you find a tag hole, then that's the 50th anniversary Godzilla Jr.
Cool. I'll have to check that out. But then I actually got Godzilla 2000. I wanted to get, because I don't like the Bandai Creation Godzilla 2000. I think the sculpt is actually one of the worst Bandai Creation figures, and I wanted to get the more accurate Japan one, and I really love this, and I actually got it from your table, Rich. Yeah, I actually got it from there, so... let's see. Then I got the 2014 Cup. This was, I think, on the last day. I was like, well, if I see it, I'll get it, and I saw it, so I got it. Then I got the Batra Larva, because I don't have him at all, so I was really, really happy that I got him. Love that. Then I got the Destroyer. I keep on forgetting what this guy is. What is
Crab?
Okay, okay. With tag, managed to find this guy with the tag, so I'm pretty happy with that. And the last figure was Orga, another monster that I do not have in my collection, so finally I do have him with the tag also, so I was really happy about that. Then something that's really special to me, and it's so funny, you guys need to stop inviting me because I'll keep on bringing up Final Wars. There's always something about me in Final Wars, but during Don Fry's panel, my dad, I actually got to thank him a lot. He actually saw... because it was the last day, he was on his last panel talking about Final Wars, and I was sad because I was like, he's the only guy I didn't get a picture with. And I was like, alright, well, I'll miss him and, whatever. But I went to his last panel, and when he was done, he actually was standing up to take some pictures. So I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta get in there. So I went in there, got in line to take a picture, but I didn't notice that all of a sudden one of the guys on the side of the table, they were selling these autographed things from the premiere of Final Wars in 2005. So I didn't notice that, but my dad, he just kind of creeps along and he grabs the second to last one for $10. And after I take a picture with Don Fry, which that was like an awesome thing, I'm like, I get to meet like the badass of the Final Wars, and then all of a sudden I walk away and my dad gives me this and I'm just like, what is it? I'm like, oh, so this is really special actually to me. So this is something that will remind me of my first G-Fest forever. But yeah, so I'm actually really happy with my haul. I wasn't expecting to get all this, but I'm pretty happy. I didn't get my 1984 figure. He was there, but the price threw me off. Yes, he was there, Rich. I'm an idiot. This is what happened. I asked, I don't remember who it was, but I asked like, oh, how much is the 84 figure? And it was the Memorial Box one, the one that I've been talking to you about. And he said, oh, it's 150. And so it was the first, right? So
That's not.
Well, because it was the first time in the dealer's room, I was so overwhelmed with all this stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. So then that's when I got the Batra, because I got him for $35. So I'm like, okay. So then we go out of the dealer's room, and I'm like, all right, it's just too much, whatever. And then we actually go see your panel, Rich. We go see the collector's panel, and you guys are talking about all the collecting stuff. And in my head, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you should have gotten that figure. You really should have gotten that figure. You're an idiot for letting that pass up, So I'm like, all right, fine. After the panel's done, we're going straight back up to the dealer's room, and we're going to get it. Went back there, he's gone. And I'm like, oh. So, oh well. Lesson learned.
Chris, you've mentioned this now, so when any one of us see it, we will let you know ASAP.
Yep.
Okay, because now that I know that the price is basically the same on eBay, now there's now it's like I just got to get it. So
that wasn't a bad
thing. That's what I was hoping. I was hoping that it'd be a little bit cheaper because it'd be like at the dealer's room instead of eBay, but I guess it's the same price. So
here's where I would have, just to give you my perspective as a collector, knowing that those pieces, the 54, 64, 62, are the three rarest and the most desired pieces from that set.
Yeah.
150 is not bad because I've seen them go for 175, 220. Some people.
Don't make me feel worse. You're making me feel worse.
Well, but you have to come on again.
Oh, I also forgot. I also got Gamera films. I got the new Blu-ray releases, the Volume 1 and 2 with the Showa series, and then I got Gamera the Brave. So now I have all the Gamera films on Blu-ray, and I'm watching them currently. So, yeah, that's my haul.
Fresh.
Very nice.
Very fresh.
All right, John, you're next.
Oh man, well, I was hunting those damn tags, as some of you know, and by damn tags we mean the Destroy All Monsters tags. So I picked up a ridiculous amount of classic Bandais. I got Baragon here with his attached tag. Everything had to be attached tag. I've got all these guys without the tags. I've had them for years, but it was time to get the tags going. So same, Dam Rodan.
Nice.
Yeah, great stuff. The paint on all these guys, I was blown away. All attached tags. The tags are in great shape. Minya, another a damn tag. Yeah. One of my favorites. Thank you very much.
Face.
I had no idea you got all those. That's a good score.
There's those right there. Oh, we're not done. This is ridiculous. I spent way too much money. Larva, damn tag. This one was the best score by far. Not my favorite figure that I picked up, but this guy was only $25.
Oh yeah.
Like a Godzilla with the damn tag attached. Perfect condition. $25. The 64. Damn tag. Another one. Almost
Well, how much was a 64, if you don't mind me asking?
He was, I think I bought him from, it was from Tim. He was 60 with the attached tag.
60 with the tag?
60 with attached tag from Tim.
No way.
Good man.
That's a score.
Brain.
That
You
is-
want to get though.
Oh yeah, no, that was great.
Not
And then
that
we've got
you
Angular
get good.
with another damn tag. That's the last of the tags right there. So that's what I was hunting, and needless to say, I had some success. I was going to pick up a Gigan on the last day, and Tim was going to sell me one with attached tag for, I think it was $30. It was a great deal. But then I checked my wallet, and I had already bought all of these, and I had no money for that. So I think my favorite score out of the band, obviously it's not a attached a damn tag because there wasn't one, but for Mogura here, with attached antennas, both in perfect condition, and that's extremely rare, let alone to find one in person with the attached tag with both of his antennas, and he only set me back 75, so I was super happy about that.
I remember when you bought that because you were looking at the one without the tag, and it had the other antennas. I'm like, hey, there's one over here with the tag.
Yeah. I think there was one at the table that, like Rich was saying, without the original antenna. They may have had some placeholders in there, but I was looking for everything with attached tags, so that happened to work out that I got the authentic ones. It's honestly been a really long time since I've seen that figure with both antennas attached.
Nice score. That's
and to not have it have to be shoved in a box and sent to me.
Yeah.
I honestly, it could have been $200 and I would have bought it, because that way I would have known by my own hands that the damn antennas would have been on there by the by the time I got home. And I've already showed you this awesome guy right here. This is actually a bear model. Hold on, let me see if I'm doing this right. I'm backwards. This is strange. But this is one of the clear bear models that I picked up there, and this was signed by Sasaki-san himself in person. And all the people that were bitching, excuse my French, about paying $20 for an autograph. Come on, guys! Like, that was I spent like $400 in the dealer's room my first day, and I went over to the the table, the G-FEST table. They're selling the shirts and everything, and the tickets for the autograph, and I was like $20. And then I stopped and I thought, and I was like, I just spent $400 on something I can buy online anytime, or I could sit here and spend $20 and get something that I could never get anywhere else for the rest of my life. And that's what those autographs are. So if you think about it in that context, you're spending $20 to get your favorite figure, your poster, a picture, whatever, signed. You'll never get that chance again, and it's only costing you $20. So that, to me, that was this. I love all these tag figures, and I'm grateful to, honestly, God, I bought one from Rich. Bought one from Mr.
Radioactive
Bond.
toys. I was just working the table.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. But from his hands, from his beautiful man hands, I bought one. From Mr. James Bond, I bought one. I bought the Baragon from Mike Johnson. Like I was spreading my loving all over the place, you know. And that's what you do at G-Fest. You just spread the love.
Well,
And from Tim Crane, all that stuff. But this ended up being my favorite piece that I picked up. And I got a. I'll keep hurrying because I bought way too much stuff. And the funny thing is, there's a lot of people that bought a lot more than I did. Got some prints from Mr. Eggleton because it was very strange, and I'm sure all of you guys know, but maybe some of the viewers at home don't, that Bob Eggleton, who's been one of my favorite humans on the planet since I can remember being old enough to know what art is one of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet in your entire life. He's a stand-up guy. He's cool as hell, and he's just there to kick it with all the fans. He's not snubby. He's not any sort of vision you have in your head about Bob is probably wrong unless you had envisioned the coolest freaking guy that just happens to love Godzilla and be the most insanely talented sci-fi painter you've ever met in your entire life. Like, that's Bob Eggleton. So I'll wipe the brown from my nose. If you're watching, love you, bro. Got this right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's his Battle of the Kings.
I got that.
I remember watching him post updates on Facebook from this painting and being like, God, that's probably the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So to buy a print from him in person and get it signed was the big highlight as too. And I love the 68 suit, so I had to get this guy as well, one of his black and white prints. And for anybody who hasn't been to G-Fest, Bob sells these things for $10 or $20 a pop and signs every one of them for you. So that, I mean, it's definitely worth picking one up at the fest. So I think that rounds it out for me. I got a couple other odds and ends, but I'll pass it on to somebody else.
Well, John, just so you know, you were looking for the damn tags. The Mogera never came with a damn tag.
Yeah, right. That's what I prefaced that.
No, that's the only tag that it ever came with. So you got the one. So
exactly right, and that's what I was trying to say before that. But I think I talked too fast. Okay, maybe that's just me. But that guy, what I was trying to say was I picked him up because of the antennas, right? Because that's. You put that guy in a box or you buy him, especially from Japan, which is where you're going to find those attached tags. It's not going to make it to you on this side with both of those things still attached.
What up, James?
James!
What's up, James?
I see you waving.
Yes.
Say hi. Or not.
Uh-oh. I think he's on mute.
Sorry, my dogs were being a pain, like they always are. What's up?
He's on mute, I think.
Now you're muted. I see the little mute icon.
Keep cursing us.
James, bro.
It's a professional operation we've got going on here.
All right, Kyle, go ahead.
My haul is actually pretty modest, in my opinion. But before I go, David,
Yes.
is this your War of the Gargantuas poster right here?
That is the War of the Gargantuas poster.
Nice.
Okay, that is
that fresh or what?
Yeah, it's not only fresh, it's French.
Oh, okay, fresh, French, and big. It's a big poster too.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, on to my haul. I basically I only bought like one thing from anybody at G-Fest that I had not already prearranged, and that was the G-Fest exclusive Marmot de Sugoji, which I'm very happy to get. There's a whole big long story that nobody needs to hear about that, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. But like I said, I had prearranged some stuff to buy from some other people, one of which was Mr. Rich Iso's non-Rick Boy Gamera 96 X Plus figure, which is beautiful and totally fresh. And wait, still smells like fresh vinyl, dude.
I still have the box if you want it.
No, dude, it's good. I'm not into the boxes. Also, from Mr. Dell, I bought the M1 Megaguirus figure, which is freaking gorgeous. And to give you just like a nutshell of a backstory, I had this a long time ago, and back when I was married a long time ago, we fell on some hard times, in quotation marks, and I sold it, and I always regretted it because it's such a gorgeous figure. the colors are beautiful, and it's huge. It's a massive, massive figure. So I picked that up from Dell for what I consider to be a very good deal. And let's see, what was the other thing? I got some other like little stuff, but the other big thing that I got that I was really happy was also from Chris Elchison, which was the GMK puppet.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Gentlemen, how are you? Yeah. I still have to find my Godzilla puppet voice. I don't know what that's going to be, but you know.
I still haven't got a voice for this guy either.
Yeah, the first time I opened my mouth, it was like, "Hi, man, how's it going?" It was so stupid. So, my favorite Godzilla suit was I just like totally demasculated it. But yeah, it was. I mean, I had a small haul, but I'm really happy with what I got. A lot of what I spent money on was autographs for my buddies. Surprised John Stanowski isn't in here hounding me as to when I'm going to send him his autographs. Just kidding, dude. But yeah.
On alive before he gets them.
Oh, ooh. I'm not going to actually make that happen, but
Slam.
Can you guys hear me now?
yeah, man, you're there.
Oh, hey. Awesome.
But to finish up, like I think that was pretty much the majority of my haul. I'm really happy with what I got. I'm really happy with the amount of money that I spent, and yeah, it was a ton of fun. Next.
I guess that's me. I also didn't spend a whole lot, but 'cause I got several X Plus figures on order already, so I didn't want to go crazy. But I did get got some Yuji Sakai dioramas. Got Godzilla 84, and I believe this is Mothra versus Godzilla as well. And I got those. They were missing from my collection of like 100 of them. Then a lot of my other ones are Ultraman. I got Bandai Grand King.
Awesome.
Nice.
Let's see, and believe it or not, this is supposed to be Gamora from one of the new Ultra shows. I haven't seen it. I have no idea, but yeah, there he is.
Yeah, dude, you were telling me about that. Do me a favor, hold that up again and talk while you're holding it up so I can really see.
Sure, yeah. Try to get a good angle on it. There's his face. It really doesn't look a whole lot like Gamora.
Yeah, that's weird looking. That's crazy. Hyper Gamora, yeah.
Well, near as I can tell, his name translates as Earth Gamora. But I'm not. I think it's either the new Ultra movie or the new like a TV show. But I've got all the other ones, so I picked it up. Now this guy I really like. This is the Bandai Tyrant, which I thought looked really good.
Yeah, that looks good, man.
I mean, I've seen the X Plus and it's good, but I like this one too. So picked him up, and the only X Plus I got at the show was this guy, the Naranga.
Which was mine.
It was yours. I didn't see your name on it, David.
You bought it from Greg, who I sold it to.
Oh, okay. So it was formerly yours.
Yes. So yeah.
Now it's mine. No, I love it. It looks great. So it even has some articulation. You can move his hands and speak a little bit.
They spin.
I know. Articulation on an X Plus. His antenna.
Spin those arms.
Doesn't his jaw move a little bit too?
Not really. Yeah.
Yeah, not really. You're right. Sorry. I've got him. He's part of my Baragon collection.
I mean, I didn't really go for the autographs, but I paid for them just so I could get photos, because I do photos. I like to get the photos with the guests, and then I save them. So that's what I did on that front. But I didn't like how they had the setup for the autographs. They were in a poorly lit area. Like all the pictures are dark in the autograph area. So I didn't like that.
Except for the ones that I took, they came out pretty good.
Slam number dose.
I'm just saying that it was pretty dark in the autograph area. You know,
Yeah.
not great for my primitive little phone.
The autograph whole thing was not exactly streamlined in my opinion. That was the one part of G-Fest that I think they could learn from their mistakes that they did this time.
Well, ironically enough, last year and for most years it was done really efficiently, but I think it just too many people were signing on Saturday and the crowds were just too big. I think they weren't ready for it. And I'm not even sure why they moved. Why did they move it to the hallway? That's like right in the middle of everything. You know what I mean? Why would you have a big crowd there? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
It
that
was
wasn't
pretty
cleaned
funny
up too
because-
well.
Yeah,
You know, like last year it was downstairs and they had a separate room. So, you know, I don't know. It was just weird to me. But
the line for Kawakita was wrapped all the way
Right,
around the corner,
exactly.
and then all the way
Oh,
back,
I know.
and all the way around another corner, and then
Well, and it wasn't really clear what these lines were because they weren't really that well organized. You know, I had to ask, like, so what's this? And like, oh, this is for Kawakita. I'm like, well, where is he? Oh, he's around the corner in the hallway.
Well, you know, the reason that Kawakita's line was so long and took so long because every single signature he did was a work of art. I mean, he really took the time to make it beautiful. He didn't just, like, you know, slap his signature on there. I mean, he did every single one as if it was, you know, the first one he was doing. And, you know, God bless him for that. And
right.
I just thought that the thing for me was it was so hot in that hallway. And,
yeah.
The air wasn't working for some reason, and
Well, it was right next to the pool.
yeah,
That pool, I wish they would take that pool out because
Yeah.
it makes everything around the pool
Yep.
super humid
Yep.
in the middle of a highly air-conditioned hotel.
Did
And it's like
anyone actually
murder.
in the pool? Because it's like a glass box, and you're like on an exhibit while you're like half naked trying to swim in a pool. So
Yeah.
I noticed that everybody in the hotel can watch you swim. I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna keep my clothes on.
Yeah.
But thanks.
Well, you know, for us, like I was in line with Paul most of the time, and we were in that long line because initially it was going to be you get in one line, and then when you get to the autograph people, you just go down the line. You go to one, then you go to the other. And then as soon as it was our turn to get right close, they changed it. They said, oh, no, this is the line for Robert Scott Field, and this is the line for Tomoko Ai. So
I heard that.
signing, you had to get back out and go into a whole separate line for your next guest that you needed to sign. Which was
Do you
a
know
little
why
bit,
that happened?
I don't know why that happened.
Well, this is a theory, and you know I could ask Jeff Horn later, but here's why I think that happened. Every year, and it just is like at every show I go to, pretty much, the Japanese guests they all have the same price. It's uniform, but Kawakita had a different procedure from Tomoko Ai and Katsuhiko Sasaki, and Don Fry had a different thing going on, and Robert Scott Field had a different thing going on. I honestly think if they just made it uniform,
Right.
you walk in the door, you say, here's my ticket for so-and-so and so-and-so, and you get to go down that line. If they just had one entrance and one exit, they could
Right.
move the line through like they did last year, Robert.
Exactly.
That moved very quickly.
Right.
Because I don't care. I'll pay $20, $25 for an autograph, but I just wish there was like maybe one line, or I don't know. I don't want to say like there should be one line and then they should have it cut off because that's like San Diego
I
Comic-Con.
will note on Sunday, which is when I got my autographs, they had them in separate lines. They were well organized, and that was that. Granted, only three people. Scott Field was signing. Kawakita actually decided to sign too, but most people had gotten his autograph on Saturday. So it wasn't.
Yeah, that's another thing is that Kawakita was only supposed to sign on Saturday, so I think everybody preloaded Saturday. They were just like, oh, I got to get Kawakita's signature. And then there was barely anybody in his line on Sunday.
Right.
I think there's also a lot of more so than usual Kawakita love going on right now with the whole popularity of Monster Arts and everything like that. I think there was a huge population of people that were there waiting specifically for his autograph because his sculpts have become immortalized even more so now with this toy line that is just like blown out of proportion in popularity with a lot of the younger fan base.
Right. Well, the bummer for me was I wanted to go to Rich's panel.
Yeah, me too.
Park part 2 of his panel, and I was stuck in line for almost 2 hours total because just the way they changed it. So that was something that bummed me out. I did not want to spend, an extra hour of my time when I could have been doing other things. I mean, I'm not complaining. It is what it is. But that was one of the regrets that, rather than, and I had to because I was leaving on Sunday. I had no choice. So for me to be stuck in that line, there was no other alternative for me.
Right.
But I would have preferred to have been seeing Rich's part 2 of the Kaiju collecting panel. But say la vie.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's nothing there that you guys would have not have known as far as the panel goes.
But it's support.
But look, if I was getting autographs, and I've said this before, I'm not really too big on autographs. That's just me. I mean, maybe it's because of my job. I'm told, I'm used to when we have celebrities and politicians come in, we don't bother them. So in some ways, I'm like, I don't want to bother the guest, But if I was getting autographs, my ass would have been online too. So I fully understand. So don't worry about it. What's that noise?
What's going on there?
I don't know.
I hear something awesome in the background. I don't know what it is.
Is someone watching a kaiju?
Here's an interesting question that I just kind of came to my own mind this morning. What is something that you wish you would have picked up from G-Fest? One item that you didn't pick up. I know Chris already said it was the 84, right?
Why'd you have to remind me?
Sorry. Is that a fair question? Is there one thing that you guys wish that you picked up that you didn't?
Yes. That.
Go ahead, John.
The clear bear model that I ended up getting was second to my first choice, and the person who bought it will remain unnamed, even though we talked about him earlier on Facebook, but we won't put that juju out there in the public. It was the yeah, David, I see that face. It was the bear model, the Mechagodzilla, probably the most popular variant that you see. It's the light blue and the pink, and it comes with the mini black hole alien. And I'm one of those weirdos that really digs on some black hole aliens. I have the Marmot, the Monster Heaven. As soon as that thing, the first picture I pre-ordered that from Mike Johnson was like, I gotta have that. I want to buy 10, but I can't. And so I've been looking for that figure forever and saw it, and it was way, way, way overpriced. It was like $175, and that's outrageous. It's a rare piece, but that's too much. So I was like, no, I can't do that. I can buy 3 other things for that price. Leave, go back, and there's this person standing in line who ended up buying it. So that was a bummer. But yeah, so I feel you, bro. I missed out on something I should have grabbed as well.
Well, my thing was they had this amazing sake decanter, a porcelain sake decanter, which is actually loaded with sake, and it came with this beautiful wooden box. And how cool would that have been to have signed by Kawakita? And Christine had one, and my friend Kurt actually got one too. And it wasn't even on my radar. When I saw them holding it, I'm like, oh my god, that is the coolest. Like, that's something that I can display in my kitchen. That doesn't have to go in the Godzilla room. That goes in the kitchen. It's like a Godzilla cookie jar, but it's a sake decanter. And I actually got a line on how to get one if anybody's interested, so you can talk to me later. But I think I'm going to end up getting one eventually anyway. But that is the coolest thing ever, like a Godzilla 89 sake decanter, right? I mean, how cool is that?
I've had that sake.
It was very cool.
You had it, Kyle?
Yeah. Yeah, in 2012, Scott Martin brought it to the Kaiju Cast listener party.
So I don't understand the had part. You got rid of
drank it. No, I didn't have it. I had the sake.
Oh, you had the sake. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we drank it. Yeah, we polished that off. Yeah, it was a great night. But actually, Dave, you should after this, you should tell me your hookup, because
I will.
If it's in Japan, I might want to know about that in a couple of weeks.
Yes, I will definitely do that.
Okay. What's up?
Next.
Mr. Iso, what's next?
Well, right. I think me and James, I'm gonna run through my haul real quick. I did pick up these two figures from Mike Johnson. I'm a Mike Johnson guy. The Marmot, obviously, and also the DVD exclusive Bandai Godzilla 54.
Sweet.
There was only 100 of these made, and we call them black vinyl. Real short review, so that's that. Also, you know, my haul was a little bit more unique to me this year than it was last year. I got this really cool coin from one of my friends.
Oh.
I got one of those coins.
Yeah, man. They're really cool.
They look familiar.
Yes, they do.
So, Kyle, maybe if you're friends with the person that knows them. Oh, he gave you one too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Got one of these cool signs here.
Oh, that's awesome. I did not get one of those, though.
Where did he go?
What do you mean? You're the one that
Back to that when he comes back.
you're the one
He's
that
ditching
gave
me
me
right now. Oh, all right, there he goes. Look, I got one of these.
Yeah, that's what I didn't get.
Well, you can
I got one of
get
those.
one anytime you want.
Yeah.
I have a couple of them. I got a souvenir from my buddy Brandon.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yes, indeed.
And then I got a souvenir from the Crown Plaza
Nice.
pillowcase with.
All right. When you're done, Rich, you got to tell that story. You got to
Okay.
tell that.
I got this from my buddy Paul. Paul knows what this is. And I got a couple shirts from Radioactive Toys. Mike Johnson shirt. Bam. And I did buy every souvenir available for the Akira Ifukube concert.
Yeah,
got that?
I wish I would have gotten that one.
The pint glass, and I got my shot glasses on the floor over there. But, yeah, you know, I'm hoping that the souvenirs for the Ifukube concert will still be available, because I know some people were asking about them. But, this...
Tell them that story.
So, plain and simple version. For the kids out there watching, I'm not going to curse, so tell your parents that I'm trying to do a good job. I had too much juice. I had too much apple juice on Thursday night. Not so stupid dealer swap. And as I somehow made it back to my room, I somehow made it back in the bed because the fruit punch was just so good. I just like, you know what, I'm going to go to bed and cherish this. One of the last things I remember was Sam. You know, too bad Sam and Paul aren't on tonight, but, you know, hopefully they'll watch this. But Sam was trying to order pizza for 45 minutes. That's the last thing I remember. Then I woke up the next morning. What the freshness! And on my arms there is fresh vinyl in Sharpie. And then I saw this. So basically what happened was Brandon Shields, Mike Johnson, David Dobko, and Sam West all contributed to a team effort in Sharpieing me while I was sleeping from, actually, it's like the juice from Faroe Island. The very punch.
It was. Perfect.
Yeah. So I heard that Mike was even kicking the bed trying to see how much of a dead space that I was in. He was even touching my arms. I feel honored. Mike was messing with me. You know, we usually take kind of like little jabs at me online, but you know, this time he was taking physical, like he was like trying to move my arms and everything so I could take a picture like this. So, you know, for those that are in the Godzilla Collectors group, and you know, wherever they might be popping around on my Facebook page, you'll see the pictures there. I'm like this so peacefully with David's Godzilla 64. What was it, the Hawazagami?
Yes, it was.
Just sitting there next to me, just making sure that the perimeter's clear. So, and then Brandon, he took this awesome picture over me like this. You know, as I'm just gone. I'm in fresh land. So that's where that came from, in the pillowcase.
All right, let me tell you the real story.
Oh!
The real story is, I mean, he's pretty close. The real story is those guys, not me, not David, wanted to write it on his forehead, fresh vinyl. okay,
That
in,
sucks.
in permanent Sharpie, and I said, you know what? He's not going to dig that in the morning when he wakes up. Has to go to his panel. So we said, let's just do his arms instead. So then they're like, well, who's going to do it? Not me, not me, not me. So then we came up with the idea that everybody would do a letter. So if he's pissed, he'd be pissed at all of us, not just one person. So we did a letter on each hand. And yeah, and he did not budge. He was asleep through the whole thing. I actually stood over him on the bed with my camera, pointed right down on his arms, and he didn't even stir. I mean, that berry juice from Faroe Island knocked him out. You know, he was out, but it was just funny. He was a really good sport about it in the morning. Like, I saw him when he woke up in the morning. At first, he was kind of shocked, and then he kind of embraced it and said, "Oh,
Wait. And you know what? I hope you have pictures of me doing that.
I do. I've got one.
I haven't even seen those yet.
I'll
But
post it tonight."
that's okay. You know, when you get around to it. But the one thing that I was worried about is when I saw what happened, I was like, what did I do? I'm like, I feared I did something stupid. And then when you guys said I didn't do anything, I'm like, because I'm pretty stupid sometimes when I'm on that berry juice.
You got off easy. They could have shaved your eyebrow off too, or something like that.
Oh my God, that would have been epic.
I mean,
I've been in a situation like that. Real quick story. When I was in the Navy, I was having one of my buddies cut my hair on the ship. I had my shirt off, so he's standing there with the buzzers. You know, he's looking, and then he goes like this up my chest. Zzz. I'm like, what are you going to do? Like, it's too late. It's gone. And
you were lucky Uncle Dave was there, because you would have had an eyebrow missing and fresh vinyl still on your forehead in permanent Sharpie. So, you're welcome. You're welcome.
thank you, David. So that was fun. All right, so there's one thing I regret not picking up. It's the King Kong vs. Godzilla soundtrack that I looked at on Saturday. I wish I picked it up on Saturday when I grabbed it. It was like $40, and I was like, you know what? I went back Sunday, and it was gone. So, but as far as the haul goes, I'm happy to go home with more cash in my pocket than I thought I was going to have, and my wife is pretty happy about that too. So, winning. That's all I got to say about that. James, what did you get?
I got a Daimos Gabara kit, resin kit, and a YMSF heater, a flying heater with the small little tadpole stage. It's like a 3-piece set. And Akira Ifukube, the concert shirt, the T-shirt. So my haul was pretty small. The one thing I did regret not getting was a YMSF figure from Gabara that Linda Conrad had. She had a nice different color one than Tempting Toys had. And I waited a couple days for that, and it was gone.
You could maybe message her and see if she has them still.
Yeah, I guess I could probably do that.
She actually may have one, but James, I'm not sorry for you, because James, you have probably the most awesome collection of King Ghidorah Gigabrain figures. You have like every color, like Skittles. You have like the Skittles, every purple, red, green, and I see a glow one back there. So you know what? You've got some pretty awesome stuff in your collection already.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris, what are you doing over there? I see you.
Just eating Gabra.
I think we all should have gotten one of those puppets, man.
I wanted to get.
It's really cool.
I wanted the 64 too.
I actually.
Chris Elchison, if you happen to be watching this, you got 2 64s to make. You know, I was thinking about buying one, but I didn't get there too fast.
Rich, you can just go to his Facebook and commission one. You can just ask him to make one for you.
Can I go to his Facebook and ask him to make me one of those half-body Minya puppets that he was carrying around the whole time?
Dude, I bet he would do it, man.
That creepy thing it was.
That was creepy as all hell.
Reggie asked me, why is X Plus so expensive? And I was like, because the stupid eBay prices when people pay them. So.
Yeah. No, I got to talk to him actually during the after party, and I told him, hey, if you're doing another 84 puppet, let me know. Because I missed out on
you bastard!
What?
Not sorry.
What?
What?
All right.
I like the puppet that Kyle got. The GMK is really nice.
Yeah, the GMK
Thanks,
is really
man.
nice.
Oh.
I really like it. I'm a big fan myself.
Sorry, Rich. I had to share that moment with the rest of the world. You know, the internet, the age we live in, it's crazy. You know, you can just share stuff. Oh, it's crazy.
Great.
So now the world knows. Guys, if you didn't know, Rich Iso is certified fresh. Screen on.
Bam!
There it is.
Sorry about your ears, but you're wearing the earmuffs.
Earmuffs.
Microphones. So
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know what's
about
going on.
10 minutes or so left, and we're gonna wrap this up.
Gotcha.
So, what does anybody else? What do you guys want to add? I mean, G-Fest was amazing. People were amazing. Excitement was off the chain.
I got one thing I would love to add, man. And this is a little bit sentimental, so apologies for it being like a little bit like goofy, but you know, the dealer's room is fantastic, and as a first timer, David and Chris and John and James, was it your first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first timers, you guys, I'm sure that dealer's room was amazing. The first time I ever went to G-Fest, the dealer's room like blew me away so much that I spent the most of my time in there. Now that I've been a few times, I gotta say my favorite aspect of G-Fest, year after year, and it gets better every year, is the people. Then where else can you go and find the people who think the same thing that you do, love the same movies you do, like soak that in and enjoy the same movies that you do. I mean, like meeting all of you guys, like I had only met David in person before and Robert briefly in person last year, and Rich and Sam pretty much from our sort of circle. And it was so awesome to meet new people, see new people like that I've been hanging out with online for so long. It was just a blast, and that is my absolute favorite part about G-Fest. The panels are great, the programming's great, the guests are great, the dealers are great, but hanging out, eating, drinking, being merry with all of these badass people, that is what I love about G-Fest most of all.
Well said.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%, Kyle, because you know it was surreal on some levels to get to hang out with like John, who we've been talking for almost a year and a half, maybe 2 years on the computer, and the only two people that I knew in the whole entire G-Fest were Kyle and Mike Johnson. I didn't know anybody else. I had never been face to face with anybody else, and no one disappointed. Actually, everybody was like exactly what I thought they would be and more. And it was my first time, and I was in the dealer's room, but that was not my main focus. It was the people. And Kyle, I agree 100%. I mean, it just so many people who don't think what I love is weird and strange and like, what do you like that shit for? Oops, sorry. You know what I mean? It's like it's just really weird. And another thing that was awesome is this Fresh Vinyl Live thing actually does reach a lot of people because we're standing in line. Rich was with me, and Kyle, I don't know who else was there. And this little kid comes up and says, Logan. We have to give a shout out to Logan, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to
Logan.
Logan, you're a good
quick
man.
shout out to Eric Glasgow. I know you're out there watching, Eric.
Well, anyway, Logan comes up to me and says, "Are you David Eric Dopko?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." And he goes, I really enjoy watching you guys on Fresh Vinyl Live. Extremely articulate, much more than I was at his age. And he says, I wanted to ask you, how's Keith? How's Spanky? And I'm like, this kid is the bomb, man. That's awesome. Like he really watches the stuff, and that kind of those moments really made it for me. And like Kyle said, not to be sentimental or corny or cliche, but I was really sad when I had to leave on Sunday. And this whole week I'm sort of coming down from the high that I had from spending time with you guys. And anyway. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Edward, Kyle, and
Only 300 and something days away till the next one.
but to add what Kyle and David said, I feel the same way. My only fear was that I wasn't going to be able to have enough time to spend with everybody, that I've met last year, or like the guys that I've known since 2006, just talking from Monster Zero boards or Facebook, let alone. I was like, I want to hang out with everybody as much as I can, and I was tied up in the dealer's room, Actually, I mean, I wasn't tied up. I felt privileged to be working behind a table with James Bond and Radioactive Toys and Jordan Twinning. I was right next to him and Brandon's table, but I just wanted to be able to spend enough time with everybody, and I felt like it's I'm gonna go hang out with these guys, and I wanted to make time for everyone. And it's so hard because when David, Chris, James, even John, when you guys, I mean, maybe Kyle and Rob could attest to this, the more you go, the more people you meet, and the more people you want to hang out with. It almost becomes hard. I don't want to say hard, but it's like, I want to go see this person, I want to see that person. Because it just gets better with time, and you make friends with everybody. So it was a blast to put the faces to reality. It wasn't just Fresh Vinyl Live. It was like Fresh Vinyl real time, real world. David, Chris, all you guys that have been here. I feel like I've known you much longer than we've been doing this Fresh Vinyl Live. It's only been less than a year.
Yep.
I mean, I can remember back to when we did the first Fresh Vinyl Live, and David came on, Kyle, you came on, Rob, so I don't know.
Yeah, and it wasn't weird meeting you guys for the first time.
Not at all.
There was no strangeness. It was like, hey, Rich, what's up? Hey, John. I didn't know when. I was worried that John, that you were here and that we had missed you, but you had come Saturday. You didn't come Friday, right?
Yeah, we came in Friday. We did, but we didn't roll in until about 6 o'clock because we had an 8.5 hour drive with traffic from Nashville.
I was kind of looking for you. I'm like, I got to see John, and you weren't even here yet, so I feel good about that we weren't, And there were so many people that, from my first time, that I didn't get to spend enough time with because you do get pulled in so many different directions, and I can't imagine how Kyle and Rich, who and Chris, who are known, more than I am, but I was pulled in so many directions, and it was mind blowing and beyond my expectations.
Bam. Bam.
Bam.
What are they going to do for an encore? That is the question.
It was an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
One more thing I'm going to say is all the people who didn't go, who I really wish went, definitely need to go next year. Cody, Ryu, James Hartman, all those guys just need to go next year because we really need to hang out together as a group. And, it really, where's Sam West? He was a hoot to hang out with.
Oh, Sam has to work tonight. I already asked him.
Filming some stuff.
That's funny because Sam's one of. I've been talking to David for probably about 2 years now online, and I know I've talked to all you guys. I've talked to Rich a bunch through our mutual online stuff and stuff like that. I've talked to Kyle a couple of times because of all the fantastic work he does for our fandom. But Sam, geez, guys, I've got so much brown on my nose. This is crazy. Sam, I've been talking to Sam for probably 3 years.
Wow.
And we traded a bunch of figures. We bought a bunch of stuff from each other. He had a Marmot Monster Heaven Minya that I bugged him about forever. There I am with Minya again. You're welcome, guys. But, yeah, Sam, that was hysterical to me hanging out with Sam. Sam and I left somewhere on that Saturday night when we were all hanging out till 3 or 4 in the morning. We just disappeared for an hour because I just looked at him and I was like, you want to go grab some beer? And he was like, I think we need more beer. We go up to y'all's room and we get more beer. I just said, y'all, you're welcome. Nashville, represent. And he comes back downstairs. I didn't even notice that he had done this. He had a beer in every single hole in his clothing. He had one in every single pocket, in the front, in the back, and he just sits down beside me and starts pulling them out one at a time, popping the lids off, and was like, let's get crunk. And so we did. And that was the great thing about it, like David's saying, is, I mean, I've been talking to Sam 3 years, David 2 years, the rest of you guys at least for a good half a year, but to sit down with somebody and feel like you've known them for your entire life is really strange, but it's not strange at all. You know what I mean? And that was the coolest thing about it was I was just looking at Sam like, this is my friend. and it's the first time I'd ever met him in person. And that to me is the biggest selling point that I think that all of us together can convey to you guys that haven't been yet. That's the reason to go right there, because I guarantee you, if you make the effort to hang out with everybody and have a good time, the exact same thing will happen for you, and there's nothing else like it.
Amen. Amen. And I mean, Kyle, you've been to Japan, so have I. It almost is that same similar experience when we so much of the culture and the toys and the food, and then when you actually get on the plane and step off into Japan, it's strangely familiar yet totally foreign, but you feel right at home. G-FEST is sort of the same way in a smaller scale, right? Keith, do you agree with that, Kyle?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, G-FEST is home, and I think I pretty much said all I had to say. But just as an example, if I go to Emerald City Comic Con, this is a convention in Seattle where David lives, and I'm standing in a line for something, I don't chit chat very much with the people there. But at G-FEST, when I was in line for Kawakita's signature, there was a kid named Steven who was like in line next to me. Man, we talked the entire time pretty much about just about the movies and about the fan films that had been made. And I would never have had that conversation with him if it wasn't for G-FEST. So that's the kind of thing I love about G-FEST, is the people. And that is all I have to say about that.
So everybody save their money. You got a whole year. Save your pennies. Buy your ticket early, not like me. I got raped, but you get worth every penny of it anyway. And see you there next year. That's all I got to say.
I want to say something. As an attendee, the most important thing you can do if you're interested in going to G-FEST, absolutely hands down, most important thing you can do is to get your hotel room reserved as soon as they announce the dates. Oh wait, no. Get your hotel room reserved 2 weeks after they announce the dates, because I want to make sure that I get my hotel room.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Right on.
Right on.
It's going to be a long year before it comes around, but it's going to be awesome next time.
Well, I want to leave. Someone asked me if I thought it would be as busy as this year. I'm like, probably not, but I don't think it'll be as not busy as people may think. Because with the interwebs, there's a lot more communication and it's put out there a lot more. So I think it's going to stay pretty big. Personally, I mean, it may not be quite as big as this year, but I think it'll be close. I think it'll be probably between 2,000 to 2,500.
I mean, I'm already making plans for us to all go into Chicago proper next year. Night on the town. You know what I mean? I couldn't, arrange anything like this because it was my first time, but wouldn't that be fun? We all go to downtown Chicago and have a real fun time there too, instead of just chilling in the rooms, which was great. But I think that would be pretty epic also.
Yeah, that definitely needs to happen. We went and drove through Chicago because it was a whirlwind trip for us. We drove 16 hours in less than 2.5 days, so we didn't have time to do anything, but that for sure needs to happen.
I mean, a lot of us are coming from different corners of the country, and we're already there. I mean, it kind of makes sense to go see some city stuff too, not just the hotel. But
we'll bring Godzilla to the people, David.
Absolutely.
And next year we should get a beer delivery truck to just pull up right outside the hotel, so Sam doesn't have to walk almost 4 miles to go get a beer.
If that happens, I don't think there'll be a square inch of Richard's body that doesn't have some Sharpie.
He actually ran.
Sam's going to be underneath the truck with the hose in his mouth.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Sam too, all of us in our row, when they did the suite for Godzilla vs. Gigan, we all looked at each other and go, Sam is really excited right about now.
How funny is that? That just
I mean, those weren't our exact words, but I can't say them right now.
I was thinking the same thing.
But
none of us had even hung out with Sam, or some of us, in person before that hadn't been to G-FEST, and we all looked at each other and knew that was his favorite. Like, that's this fandom for you. That's us. You know what I mean? Like, David and I had never hung out in person, never hung out with Sam, but we all three knew each other previously to where David and I looked at each other and we were like, "Oh, Sam's loving this right
Yep,
now."
he's loving this moment right now. You know,
How
he's
funny is that?
moment. Yep, absolutely.
And by funny, I mean wonderful, and I'm crying on the inside.
Right on.
Right.
What do you got to say, Mr. Iso?
Man, you know, it's just, you know, this is like how I felt after G-Fest last year. You know, I was like, what do we got to do to like to keep that train rolling? Sure, we might not be physically together, but you know, that's why I enjoy this right here with everybody. You know, this is, I mean, I really felt like I was on a high since G-Fest last year till right now. Even though G-Fest 21 has passed, you know, I think it's important, not for just us, you know, to keep that train going, but everybody out there, you know, don't lose that momentum, you know. I mean, this hobby is so much fun. It's so much better when you're with the people that enjoy it with you, you know. So
Amen.
I just want to keep this train going, you know. I mean, that's what pushes Fresh Vinyl Live. That's what pushes me to do the videos, you know, to stay in contact with everyone. You know, I mean, my wife, I think, you know, I think before the morning of that I flew out, you know, she said, you know, I think it's awesome that you're doing something that you're so passionate about, you know, but I wouldn't be so passionate about it if it wasn't for everybody else in this hobby. That makes it, you know, that much more fun. Sure, any of us can just sit there and just watch a movie and like yippee, 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 but it's sharing these experiences with each other that makes it 1,000 times better. So, you know, that's all I'm thinking about right now. It's great to sit here with this group of guys, you know, any other group of guys, and just share the same things and just have a good time with it.
And
That's right. Keep that momentum going. Go donate to Hail to the King.
Absolutely.
Clever. There it is. For anybody who's paying attention, I'll have a big write-up on Kyle's upcoming documentary on Screonk.com. I'm going to do as much as I can. We all are to help out. And it's just like the concert, it's going to be something that none of us have seen before or had the chance to participate in. So it is 100% worth your time and your money.
Mm-hmm.
Spanky says donate.
Nice.
Oh, well, Spanky says so.
Yes, he does.
That's right. Captain
All right,
Spanky.
anybody got any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I've already talked too much.
I think we've all given our final thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just can't wait till next year. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, I hope to see the East Coast crew in October.
Yeah.
Out there.
I'm planning on coming down, so you'll be seeing Mr. Fresh.
Perfect.
Real quick, for everybody that was, you know, you didn't catch the beginning of it, Kyle's doing a Kickstarter campaign for a Hail to the King 60 Years of Destruction documentary. Kyle, what was the hailtotheking.com?
HailToTheKingDoc.com.
Doc.com. Okay, so the description will be the link to the Kickstarter will be put in the description shortly after this transmission. Sorry, stole that from you, Kyle.
So good.
But I was thinking about you. It will be in the description on the video on YouTube. Check out Kaiju Cast. Check out Fresh Vinyl Reviews on Facebook. The links are there. There's more than enough spots to find the information for that Kickstarter. Go donate what you can. Let's make this happen. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight, sharing our experiences with G-Fest. And we'll see you on the next episode of Fresh Vinyl Live. Hopefully we'll have something a little bit bigger on my table here that's probably blocking me by the nickname of the gigantic series Burning Godzilla. But that will be next time.
There it is.
Boom, boom, boom. That's all I got. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Remember, buy vinyl, fresh vinyl. Bam!